It's crunch time here in the studios of Austin Peay. Reese Britt, Christian Hunt, and the man, the myth, the legend,
yes, sir,
Dylan Walton. Long-lost son of Bill Walton, I heard.
That's true.
No, it's good. So crunch time's going to look a little different this year. Instead of encompassing all sports, we're just going to stick to Austin Peay sports for this first 30 minutes. So, guys, let's go ahead and get right into it. Christian, I'll start with you. How's your school year been so far? How's the week been? And just give us a lowdown, man.
School's been good, man. Grad school's going pretty well. The teachers are pretty chill with the times this go around. But man, been a busy week. We had 2 shows yesterday, both the Buzz's show and the Verdict. So we've been busy, but busy's good, man.
It is, absolutely.
It's not good to just sit around and do nothing. You want to be busy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. What about you, buddy?
Man, this is the best part of the school year right here, bro. Oh, that schoolwork. No, this right here, this is what life's about.
This
Talking
is fun.
Sports with the boys, you know what I mean? The woosah, life's going good. Birthday tomorrow.
Birthday.
Yeah, shout out.
Let's go.
22 tomorrow.
Double
Double
deuces.
22.
Come on now.
Yeah, ever since turning 21, it just goes downhill from there.
Not for real.
So, yeah, right. No, it's good. Well, I'll go ahead and just say, it's been a busy start to the school year for me. With golf and everything. We've been traveling nonstop. I hadn't been to my classes in like 2 weeks previous to today, so that's just based off golf. So it's been a grind, but I'm glad to be back with you guys, and just being at Austin Peay, being in Clarksville again. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start here with Austin Peay football. The Governors, they're 1-2 on the year. Their sole win coming last Saturday at home. So they're 1-0 at home this year. You always want to defend home turf, defend the fort, as they say. Lost first week to SIU. That was a tough loss. We thought coming into the year that Austin Peay, they were going to just build on what they did last year. They ended up falling 49-23. But I want to talk a little bit about this. The game was 42-3 to start the third quarter, 28-0 after the first.
Yeah, it's a rough game. I mean, to be fair, this is kind of what I have in my personal notes. To be fair, Southern Illinois is in the Big Sky, and that's kind of the SEC of the FCS. This is where you see the North Dakota States, the South Dakota States, the North and South Dakotas, teams that consistently are having 4 or 5 deep in the FCS playoffs every year.
Right.
So it's a tough game for Scotty Walden and the guys to open up week 1, and especially on the road. That's kind of a tough test, but I expect it to be a lot more competitive. Now, what's nice about they did finish. They got a couple touchdowns late. They made the score a little bit more respectable. And I felt like they carried that momentum into week 2 against Tennessee. But like you said, man, it's the way we finished last year. We get a piece of that ASUN championship going into the new conference with the UAC. You kind of expected a little bit more of a faster start, but that's football, man. Sometimes you just get off on the wrong foot.
Right, and it was tough because I was watching that game to prep for this and to prep for our show, and just to be a good fan. That's what everybody that goes to this university we try and do. And I was watching it and just miscue after miscue. There was so much hype building into this upcoming season. Like we were going to compete for the UAC. We were going to compete in the FCS playoffs, and we had the players, to do so. And the buzz around the whole program was so big that it was almost just like, stabbing a nail in the tire and just deflate. Just a really deflating performance. But week 2, we saw some progression. Granted, they did go to Tennessee. That's one of the toughest places to play in college football, and they did well. They really did. They ended up losing 30-13, but they held the lead after the first quarter. At halftime, they were only down 13-6. Yep. Maddox Trujillo knocked 2 really good field goals in there in the first and second quarter. One was from like 47 yards. And the wind in that stadium, it'll swirl. So, what do we think about that game? They showed a lot of promise.
I just feel like we could have pushed the ball more down the field because against ETSU, we was throwing bombs. DeLillo was throwing bombs. If we pushed the ball down the field and stopped throwing RPOs 100 times, I think we could have kept that defense out there on a long time because y'all defense was playing lackluster and offense and head coach. Everybody was playing lackluster.
Yeah, I was going to say, Reese, from a Tennessee fan point of view, what were your thoughts? I mean, obviously you have a dual loyalty with Tennessee and Austin Peay. What were your thoughts for that game?
Well, I tell people all the time, I go to Austin Peay, I play for Austin Peay, but you cut me open and I bleed orange. That's just how it is. I mean, I live 15 minutes from the stadium. I been going to games since I could walk, basically. So you just can't take that. You can't take that out of me. And I wanted to see Tennessee, maybe make it or I wanted to see Austin Peay make it a game for maybe a quarter. But then after that, Tennessee opened the playbook and do what they do. Do what a top 10 team should do to an FCS opponent. And frankly, they didn't do that. And so it was a little disheartening from the perspective of a Tennessee fan. But from the flip side, it showed that. It showed promise on Austin Peay's side where it was like, okay, we laid an egg week 1, but we can put that aside and focus on what we need to do. And going on the road and doing what they did in an SEC venue, in what some argue the toughest place to play in America, and it was sold out. Let's not make any bones about that.
Yeah, when
is
it not
orange.
sold out though? When is it not sold out?
Butch Jones, Jeremy Pruitt,
and even
Derek
then, like
Dooley.
their unsold out version is still like 75,000 people. So like it's still like a large crowd, no matter what time of the year it is.
Yeah, so it was good from Austin Peay's perspective, the Austin Peay and me to see that, and frankly, the last weekend, they showed what they could really do. And ETSU, granted, they're down this year. They've lost their starting quarterback. They were on their backup to start the game, but still, for Austin Peay to go out there and put up 63 points. 28-0 after the first quarter. That's pretty impressive.
It was super impressive.
No doubt, man. We saw the progression. I mean, we did see some down the field play from Mike DiLello. We saw a Trey Goodman touchdown that was a deep shot in that game, and we saw it, like you said, it carried over. You got a firsthand view of the ETSU game, and you just saw nothing but bombs.
Touchdown.
No punts in the ETSU game. We'll hit that in a minute, but that's interesting. But so we saw the progression of the Tennessee game, and that's one thing as an Austin Peay fan and someone who has been in that room with some of those guys and knows Scotty Walden on somewhat of a personal level. It's cool to see the progression because, as a coach, week 1, he was flustered. He was not happy.
Had to have been.
But then he sees his team, like you said, go on the road in a very tough environment and put up a heck of a fight. Heck of a fight. Refs' calls were a little bit questionable. I will not deny that. But you still got to respect the fight.
So we are giving Austin Peay more credit than if we saying Tennessee played bad.
I think you got to give him credit. You got to give him credit.
Okay.
I think, I would say so. I mean, you can't, from an unbiased perspective, you can't look at that. You can't watch that game and be like, Tennessee played a phenomenal game.
Yeah, no,
I mean, they
can't.
were clicking on all cylinders.
No.
Their defense was flying around the football field. You can't say that, and that's not what reality
Because if it was, it would be in a different story.
But Sam Howard was flying all over that field.
Yes,
he
he
was.
was.
Yes,
that
he
dude
was.
is a
10
heat-seeking
total tackles.
missile.
Yeah,
10
I like
total
him.
tackles.
I like him.
Heat-seeking missile.
Yep, 10 total tackles. Tyler Long did the same thing. Tyler Long, both those guys. I think our linebacking core, our front seven's pretty solid.
Yeah,
I mean,
pretty
let's be completely honest.
Pretty stacked.
We got some dudes up front.
Yep.
So
100%.
They can fly.
yeah, they can fly. But a couple of things from ETSU game. Mike DiLello set an Austin Peay single game passing record.
How about that?
441 yards.
How about that?
That's 4 times up and down the field and a little bit of change with 41 yards.
Deserving.
He added 5 touchdowns there through the air, rushed for 1 as well. So 6 total touchdowns for him. So he should win. What should he win? ASUN Player of the Week?
Well, he won the UAC.
Oh yeah,
Offensive
or not
Player of the
ASUN,
Week.
UAC, whatever.
That's going to be tough to get used
It
to.
is. Yeah, it really is. Because everybody else is ASUN. You know, like we're us for golf, we're ASUN. The basketball.
football is the only?
Football's only,
wow.
Yeah,
UAC.
because
so.
they lost with the football programs. They lost Jacksonville State. They
Yeah.
lost some teams, so they had to combine with the WAC. So that's
They
why
lose- Did they lose Liberty? Or Liberty was always with-
Liberty's always FBS
Yeah.
football. The rest of their programs are ASUN. But
ASUN,
yeah,
yeah.
so it's weird. I mean, we went from OVC, ASUN, and now we're in the UAC. It's like,
all
which
in the
conference
span
are
of
we in
3
next?
years, right?
Yeah.
3 years. Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, so he won Offensive Player of the Week, and then Cam Thomas
Cam Thomas,
with
yeah.
Special Teams Player of the Week.
He had a
Yeah.
phenomenal. That punt return.
That guy's a weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That guy is an absolute weapon.
That got me hype in the booth. I'm calling the games on the radio station here, 91.9, and that got me electric. I mean, I was almost borderline yelling. Like that was pretty. Did
you get the high pitch like, and he's going to the
Yeah.
house.
He's to the 10-5 touchdown.
You had to lower the voice on the touchdown.
Well, yeah, I had to. I mean, I don't have a very good voice anyways for this stuff, but yeah, it was fun. It's a good time. But yeah, Cam Thomas, 123 yards on the return on just 4 punts. So think about that just in general. And I don't think ETSU special teams wise, is anything special. Like, I don't think, no pun intended, but is anything special. But still, 123 yards. That's
that's work.
That's
real work.
That's work. That's work.
That's
and one
changing.
touchdown.
That's changing the field because we talk about football as a game of inches, and when you can get relatively 15 to 20 yards on a punt return, you're talking about changing the field. That's 15 to 20 less yards that your offense has to go and work.
Yeah.
So we're talking about a game of inches. That's huge.
Especially
Absolutely.
with just RPOs.
Yeah.
You know?
and it felt like Austin Peay like always either flipped field position or started their drive in ETSU territory, or at least close. Like, they were never backed up in their own territory trying to start an offensive possession.
And if they did, it was a bomb.
Right.
2-3 plays
yeah,
later.
they would switch it on the next play or whatnot. So that was good. Shout out to CJ Evans, running back, ran for 102 yards, didn't capitalize on a touchdown or whatnot, but still running, like we were just saying, flipping field position. First play of the game, I think he busted one for like 40 yards or something like that.
Yeah, it was a big one.
So that was good to watch. And then Jaden Barnes caught 7 passes for 121 yards. So that guy, and we're all talking about, these guys with the whole transfer portal situation that we got going on in college football. None of these guys, except for Mike DeLillo, transferred.
No, it
was always the freshman. Yeah, homegrown guys.
It's tough because especially Austin Peay, we got gutted last year through the portal. You lose Dre McCray to Texas Tech, you lose D Ford and Shamari Simmons to Arizona State, and then you not only that, but you lose Ryan Stanchek, your offensive line coach. You lose Chris Kappas, who is literally coach of the year as an assistant.
Yeah.
So we got gutted. That's one thing that fans I don't think realize is.
No, I didn't realize how much we lost.
We lost a lot. We lost James Burns, who was another kind of special teams ace and a kind of a Cam Thomas role where he was kind of a speedster on offense. So we got gutted through the portal.
Yeah.
And we lost a lot, but that's part of football, and it's part of the football we live in, unfortunately, today. But we adjust, we figure it out, and then you see here, once you put it all together, the Govs can be dangerous. It's just, can we carry this over through the rest of the season? That's the big question.
Right, and that's the terrain that we're living in nowadays with college football is, especially at the FCS level, because it's almost looked at now as kind of like a G League for the FBS and Power 5. Because, you just talked about 2 guys in our defensive backfield, if I'm not correct, went to Arizona State.
Yep.
Those type of guys. But on the flip side, we're getting guys like Tyler Long coming in here from Norfolk State. And that's just an absolute animal out there.
Because there are levels of FCS football, just like there's levels to FBS football.
Correct.
Like the difference between a North Dakota State and an Austin Peay. There is a difference.
Pretty
right?
large, yeah.
It is a difference.
Right now,
at least. But so there are levels. So like a guy at Norfolk State who may be a really good player may not get as much exposure at a Norfolk State, but he can get a lot of exposure at Austin Peay. Or at least and he has. He's next to Sam Howard. He's balling out. So it's a give and a take. There's definitely, and then there's guys, that drop down from the FBS level, like a Mike DeLello, who a couple years ago transfers in from MTSU. So it's a give and a take, unfortunately. It's just, it stinks when you have to give rather than take. Like, we'd like to keep Dre McCray, but unfortunately, he's like, hey, man, I got an offer to go to Texas Tech. I'm going. But that's just football. And we just have to adapt with it.
Yeah, and he's getting reps there too. I looked it up before game time, and I don't think he's getting he's not getting wide receiver. Yeah, he's not getting wide receiver 1 type reps, but like he's getting 2, 3, 4 targets a game. Yeah, they have him returning punts out there too, which I've heard from some sources that he doesn't like that. But when you're going from FCS to FBS and you're that type of guy, like, you're going to have to do some nitty-gritty stuff. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Returning punts is not fun.
No, for Cam Thomas it is.
It is for Cam Thomas when you can just, like, blink and he's gone. But, like, for most human beings, it's not fun.
Right, yeah. For any of us, we wouldn't make it a
catch
down
every time.
Yeah. If we catch the punt. But anyway.
Yeah, not for real.
Yeah. So Austin Peay had more rushing yards, 171 in this game than the 2 previous games combined. So they really, like Walden said, previously to the game, he wants to establish the running game before he goes through the air, and that's exactly what they did. First play of the game, give it to CJ Evans, runs one for 40 yards, goes over the top, touchdown.
Shout out to the OL, man, because the OL
had got
a lot of criticism the first games, and rightfully so.
Yeah.
But when you got an offensive line, and because here's the thing, we got a lot of guys coming back, and that's, I think, why most fans were frustrated the first 2 weeks. But it's, again, when you got to get 5 very large human beings in unison to go the right direction, that's tough.
Against other
against other very large human beings.
Yeah. And for them to get a push, too, they were down their left guard, Harrison Wilkes, in that game. But, Brady Odom guy, he's played ball, too. I think he played at Tennessee a little bit. He played, too, in some late games. So, at least a freshman that, can barely make weight every day. You know what I'm saying? We've got some guys that are
disciplined.
Yeah, exactly. And that can hold their own. So that's good. But real quick, pull out your phones. I want everybody at home, pull out your phones. Anybody that's listening to this, follow us on social media at APSU Crunch Time. It's both the Instagram handle and the X, and not Twitter anymore, sadly.
Shout out to Elon.
I was about to say, I think we still call it Twitter.
It's still on it's still on here on Twitter. That's my bad, guys.
Oh no, that's good.
It's
Twitter,
fine.
I like it. No, I like it. And then APSU Crunch Time on Podbean. That's where we're going to be posting a bunch of this stuff. So go give it a follow. We do a lot of stuff, especially in season. We try and keep you guys up to date on a lot of stuff. So that's good. But let's look at what we've got this Saturday. Stephen F. Austin. It's a good ball club. What do we got?
Very good.
I mean, listen, you have Stephen F. Austin again. You kind of had to combine the ASUN and the WAC. So Stephen F. Austin, kind of unfamiliar territory for the Governors, having to fly out to Texas. Scotty Walden loves that.
I was about to say, that would be cool
for Scotty.
Cool.
For Scotty, he loves it. He loves it, no doubt there. But some unfamiliar territory, right, with Stephen F. Austin. Not an opponent that you really have gotten familiar with. I mean, I'm sure they watch film and they understand to a degree what they want to do. But I have on my notes, it's going to be interesting because they've played 3 quarterbacks to this point.
Yeah.
So you really don't even know who you're going to get. I mean, they have, let's see on my notes here. I had his name.
For you Tennessee fans out there, you'll know exactly who this guy is.
Brian
Maurer. A Jeremy Pruitt recruit, his first year. 3-star quarterback.
Is he fanboying?
No,
he's 100% fanboy.
No, Dill. I just know ball, dude. I just know ball.
You know, it's Tennessee ball.
He's
Tennessee ball.
He's fanboying right
3-star quarterback out of Ocala, Florida. We thought this guy was going to be the next guy
That's
at
everybody
Tennessee.
for y'all.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. But he ended up playing a couple games at Tennessee, played one at Mississippi State, actually led us to the win against the Bulldogs.
And then
at
y'all just
home.
said goodbye.
Well, he got a concussion, and then injuries kind of plagued
And then y'all push him to the curb. Huh?
Yeah. He can't help us.
Just like if
That's
they're
Power
not
5
healthy and
ball,
ready.
dude.
Yeah, you know.
That's Power 5 ball.
Can't help us so
happens
get out.
everywhere.
Now it's Power 5 ball.
Yeah.
That literally happens
Now it's
everywhere.
Power 5
If you ain't Peyton Manning, boy, you get out of the house.
You gotta go.
If you ain't Peyton Manning or Hendon Hooker, get out.
But yeah, so we don't really know what's going on, quarterback wise. I guess he's going to get the nod. He did play in their past game. He played seemingly pretty well. They have 2 wins right now over Alcorn State, Northwestern State. I mean, my thing is they haven't scored less than 38 points in their first 3 games.
They don't score.
That's against Troy, which, is there much of a difference between FCS and G5 ball? Maybe not as much, but still, it's FBS ball.
Sure.
So if you're putting up 38 points against an FBS defense, that's a little concerning to me if you're a Govs fan. A little bit. Just a little bit.
When you're giving up 42 points to SIU, I mean, and then you have to go play Stephen F. I mean, that's a bit concerning.
That shows you how much college football makes like 0 sense because
no sense.
You give up 42 points, Dylan. You give up 42 points to Southern Illinois.
Yeah, I'm already knowing. Come on.
And then 30 points to Tennessee.
We're gonna do this. We're gonna.
I'm
keep
just
doing
saying.
This, guys.
I don't care. Take Tennessee out of the equation. If you play Mississippi State,
Yeah.
and you give up less points to an FCC team than you do an FBS team, that shows you just football just makes 0 sense. And I'm just here for the ride.
No, absolutely. And
Here
I think
for the
we
roller
all
coaster,
are.
baby.
I think we all are, dude. We love
Absolutely.
football. No, it's good. But Stephen F. Austin comes into this game 2-1, wins over Alcorn State, Northwestern State. Shout out Northwestern State. That's where our new basketball coach came from.
Yeah, thanks for giving us our coach back.
Oh, yeah, right? Like, plug in the coach.
Yeah.
So.
We basically have their whole basketball team now.
Yeah, which is good. I actually met one of the basketball players that transferred from there and transferred from Missouri State to Northwestern, and then from there here. And he's a nice guy. He started at Northwestern State, but since it's his second transfer, he's going to have to sit out.
Yeah.
So,
That's tough.
yeah, which is, but
The whole season or how many games?
No, the whole season. He's going to have, but he said, like, we're gonna be fine this year, and then the next year we're gonna be really good. So you take that with a grain of salt from the player, but I really think we're gonna be good.
I got faith.
Yeah.
I got faith. So
I got faith.
And Coach Gibson was at the game this past Saturday. I saw him on the social media for football. So shout out to him for coming and supporting the
Coach
boys.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's something we just didn't get
That
with our previous
love
guy.
right there.
You know what I'm saying? That's just something we didn't get with our previous coach. That I think he's this coach is more bought into Austin Peay as a school, not so much, a stepping stone.
We were too busy fighting in the hallway.
Yeah,
to show love.
That was kind of
one last jab for the walk off for the done, and then we're done. I promise.
Oh gosh, no, that's good. But back to football. Here we go. It was a good performance from the Governor's D this past this past weekend, but they're gonna have to find something. Whether that be, you can't ask Tyler Long and Sam Howard to play much better than they already have.
No, they're gonna have to though. They're gonna have to. That running back for SF Austin. Yeah. He a workhorse.
You be watching film too.
Yeah, I was watching.
You be watching film.
That's a good host.
What do you have? Well, like 115, 120 some yards.
They can run the ball. Again, I think they've kind of leaned on their run game more because they have had, again, they played 3 quarterbacks. So it's like, how do you know,
but
what
The
you're going to get?
run scheme is good though. Pulling the guards. I seen the guard come from the opposite side, block the linebacker, hold straight up the middle.
Hey,
now the running back's not that fast.
He's a bruiser,
but he's 6 foot 200 pounds. That's a thick man.
That's a big boy.
Yeah, that's a thick man.
That Texas ball, just
it's a little bit different.
A little bit different, coach.
No. Yeah, they pack the stadium a little more tight than what a lot of FCS teams do. But on the flip side of that, we talked about the defensive line, the front 7. Can the O line hold up?
100%, because like Coach Walden alluded to again in the ETSU game, we see what happened. We've seen both sides of the coin now. We've seen what happens when we don't have the run game, what happens when we do have the run game.
Right.
So obviously we're going to need the run game going on the road, different environment, right? You're going to have to fly there. It's a little bit farther of a trip, so that's going to be potentially a distraction there. And then my thing is going into this, Mike DeLello has played well this season.
Yes.
But what happened in the first game against SIU?
Right.
3 turnovers.
Yep.
Can't happen on the road.
Absolutely
can't happen,
not.
Period. But it has to not happen, especially on the road. So can he take care of the ball? That's been, I think, his one, issue here.
But it seems like it happens all in like one game. Like
exactly.
He gets that one game out of his system, and then the rest of the year is flawless. Like we saw, we've already seen it this year. 3 turnovers in the first game. Then against Tennessee, no turnovers. It was.
I think he had a interception.
Did he really?
1. I believe so. I'm not 100% sure.
I thought the guy fumbled it. I thought he caught it and then fumbled.
We had a punt return fumble that set y'all up with a field goal.
Oh, yeah, y'all. I like how you're using y'all.
Yeah. Right now, at Tennessee versus Austin Peay, it's y'all.
That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I'll take that. But then, last game, 0 turnovers, looked flawless. Every deep ball he threw right in the bucket. And a lot of those defensive backs for ETSU, they were playing good coverage. I mean, they were just trailing. They had the hand on the hip.
A lot of contested catches.
Exactly, but we ended up making the plays. So it's very encouraging.
No punts in this past game for the Governors.
It's impressive.
That's hard to do in college football. Now
that's hard to do. Period.
Yeah, absolutely, in any form of football.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Pee-wee,
middle school, high school, NFL, college,
free play,
any
freestyle, whatever.
Any of them.
CFL, Canadian Football League. They don't really punt.
XFL, no.
Yeah, XFL.
Yeah, XFL.
I don't know if we're counting Canada or
Arena Football League.
They definitely don't punt in arena football. They definitely don't do that.
They're going for it on 4th down.
100%. I mean, what is it? They got like 50 yards ago anyway.
Manziel, baby.
Yeah. So, but just a few more stats is this defense for Stephen F. Austin, they gave up 145 rushing yards to Alcorn State. They gave up 84 to Northwestern State. So that's kind of where my questions of the offensive line, are they going to be able to move these guys out of the way? Are they going to be able to get up to the next level, get to those linebackers, and open up some gaps for C.J. Evans, Cam Thomas to get through Javon Jackson? So
I think we got to get away from running in the gun. We got to get away from that, because if we lose the size, we're losing the size battle already. So if we running right into the gaps, the size is going to overwhelm. Let's get outside. Let's get some speed, Then run off the RPO out of single back or something, because we stuck in this gun, triple stack, double stack trios. Yep. It ain't working.
That's Scotty's system.
But
he's all in the gun.
In.
I don't think we've seen DeLillo set up under center one
if
time.
It is, it's been like a couple times.
Goal line maybe.
But my thing is if you don't want to get out of the gun, like Dylan talks about, if you don't want to get out of the gun, maybe you got to run Mike as a design runner. Get an extra blocker. Use the running back as an extra blocker.
Boston does a good job at that. They use Brian Marr, whatever his name.
Brian Maurer.
Your boy. They use your boy,
My
your
boy.
cousin. Yeah.
He's not his boy anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I mean, I want to see Brian do well this weekend.
Don't
Oh
say
my
that.
God.
Come on. Dude, this is an Austin Peay podcast. You can't be rooting for the guy just
I'm
because
not, dude. I'm not.
You literally just said, I hope he does well.
No, I hope
bleeding orange right
you
now,
didn't
bro.
let
Put
me
a Band-Aid
finish.
on.
You
Put a
didn't let me
Band-Aid
finish.
on.
I said I hope he does well, and I hope Austin Peay wins the game.
No.
Can't have it both ways.
No.
I think you can. I really don't think that Brian Maurer is going to have that much of an influence on the game. I think if Austin Peay can stop the run first, because Brian Maurer, that's what I'm saying. Brian Maurer, from his days at Tennessee, he was not that great of a passer. He was a scrambler. He got out of the pocket and he made stuff happen. He was an improviser. He made stuff happen when the play was dead. And so if you keep him corralled in the pocket, I'll say it now. I'll call my shot. I think if we can do that, keep him in the pocket, Austin Peay has 2+ interceptions on the day.
It's going to be interesting.
Put that in the parlay.
Put it in the parlay.
Right. Put it in the parlay.
No comment.
Yeah. We're not a gambling show here.
Yeah, we're not. Definitely not.
But it is interesting because we saw some Sam Howard spying because Baron May is kind of a little bit more of a mobile quarterback before he unfortunately got hurt with his injury, which we hope he recovers.
Absolutely.
We hope he's okay.
Absolutely.
But we saw that from Sam Howard a little bit. It's just going to be a question of if he's more of a mobile guy, how do you? Because if you got to take one out of the spy, that's taking one out of the coverage, that's taking one out of the pass rush potentially.
Probably have to play a little more zone if you really think about it.
And that works.
Maybe
that works though.
Yeah.
Make him think. Make him think in the zone. That's 2+ picks right there. Make him think in the zone.
That was one thing at Tennessee that he had trouble with was reading zone and fitting the ball in those windows that you have to fit inside the linebackers in that intermediate spot because. Frankly, a lot of these Power 5 guys can throw on man coverage because your guy just flat out is going to beat the other guy. And you're reading the safeties on man and whatnot.
Put that 2 shell up there, make him think.
Yeah, seriously.
But 2 safeties back, just like that's what everyone does with Kansas City. They just say, "Hey, you're going to have to beat us underneath because you're not going to throw it deep." Which, granted, they don't have Ty Hill anymore, but still.
Which is interesting because that's exactly what Austin Peay did against Tennessee. They kept too high up. They made Tennessee beat him underneath. I think Tennessee ran like 4 screenplays in a row or something. And so that's
he can't help it.
He can't help it.
All right. I'll stop talking about Tennessee. I'll stop talking.
It's okay.
But no, it'll be fun to watch them this weekend. It's a great opportunity for these kids to get on a plane, fly down to Texas, just go through that whole
get that experience.
Yeah, get that experience. They're going to do it again when they go to Utah, and they're going to leave for more days at a time. I think they're staying in Las Vegas for that one because Lord knows there's nothing in southern Utah. Or are they going to? No, it is southern Utah because Utah Tech's coming here.
Boy, you just made a whole state mad.
Dude, nobody from southern Utah is listening.
Canceled in Utah.
It doesn't matter because Sideline at APSU, Sideline or whatever his Twitter handle is going to see this. And he's going to send this to whatever Twitter handles they have for their school.
I hope you're going
to be in the locker room. You're going to be in the locker room motivation.
I hope I get southern Utah fired up. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
don't give them any ammo.
No,
that's the Belichick way is don't give them any ammo. And then whatever ammo they give you, you use.
That's true, I guess.
So you're giving them ammo right now.
I didn't know we got into World War II talk, man. All right,
I'm just saying. You gotta think. You gotta think about stuff like that.
That's true. That's true. Christian, you're one step ahead of me. But let's move on real quick. The last couple minutes here. Let's highlight some other fall sports going on. Women's soccer, they're doing pretty solid this year. With new coach, they're just trying to fit into where they are in the ASUN. They're 3-6-1. They got a game with Jacksonville tonight. They're flying down, or they flew down there. I think they're down there right now, getting ready to play. But I actually went out and watched them. I know Dill was there. What was that? Was that on last Thursday, Friday?
Nah, it had to be Thursday. I think
was it Thursday?
Yeah, it was Thursday.
They look good. They beat Bellarmine 2-1. So
good last like 15-20 minutes. Very entertaining.
Yeah, very entertaining. Because
I think one had snag.
Yeah, no, that was sick.
That one hand snag was nasty.
Yeah, that was good. But anyways, women's golf starts the season. They're really good right now. They've got some good players. They started the season out second at Missouri State. Then they just won this past weekend. And they're looking really good. They had shout out Maggie Glass, ASUN Women's Golfer of the Week. So that was really good. And then men's golf, we're doing okay. 5th to start out the tournament. I mean, look, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's just we're not struggling, but we'll have like 1 or 2 guys play well at a tournament, and the other 3 kind of are lackluster. So it's interesting in that category.
What you shooting?
Now I was gonna say you had left the last tournament with an illness. I
did, yeah. I think I had COVID or something, but that's beside the point. But no, that was way back. No, I wouldn't still have it now, but that was way back. But Anyway,
you canceled everywhere now. Utah,
Probably,
Clarksville.
Thank God Dog Meat
Probably.
kept these dividers up.
Yeah,
Thank God.
right. No, it's good. But that'll do it here. Thank you to everybody making this possible. Steve Sawyer, David Ellison, Doc V for letting us use the studio, all the GAs here that really are the ones that make this show run. So, guys, I want to thank you. We'll be back next week. This is Crunch Time.